was trying to be smart, but that shit will fall there. That's better, man. I will remove this. What up? So today it's Friday. We were supposed to have a session, but yeah, it's a little bit delayed, but I had to cancel it because I have something that I have to do at 11. So yeah, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Chrizeecry Senyatsi. I'm a civil engineer and I'm also a mentor and a musician. But on this channel, I'll be focusing on math, science, EGD, and civil tech. So that's what I do. I'm a technical consultant, and yeah, that's what I do all day. Today I have this special gig here, so I'm just scanning someone's papers. So that's what I'll be doing today. So I'm gonna rush to scan this before electricity vice. Electricity is gonna chow us. We have a problem of electricity this side. Oh, I put this up because I wanted to put my iPad on here, but now I just have to reduce it a bit and have this here. Then now I was listening to my reading. Do you guys listen to these tarot readings? If you guys are not into that, you can just look at me and never listen to what is being said here. But yeah, I just use it for, for mental, I don't know, whatever, stimulation, whatever. So yeah, right now I'm just gonna scan these things. I was revamping someone's CV to be on an ATS system friendly, to be ATS friendly. And then, yeah, I had a session today, but that got cancelled. I was supposed to do chemistry student grade 12 today, 1 hour session on organic chemistry. So we have another student at 11, I think, for maths. I hope they show up. It's a grade 9. I tutor grade 9 to 10, grade 8 to 12, I mean to say. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Science and maths, as well as civil tech and EGD, engineering, graphics, and design, for those who don't know. And then, yeah, that's what I do. By profession, I'm a civil engineer, but I have experience in teaching grade 6 students, as well as mentoring first-year engineering students to honors degree level students. So, yeah. And then in terms of assignments, paid assignments, I do paid assignments for UJ students, VET students, NATED N1 to N6 engineering students, especially in civil tech, as well as physics, chemistry, engineering, graphics and design, assembly, floor plans, perspective, civil tech, building, construction, as well as a little bit of carpentry here and there. So yeah, that's about it.
Right, so it's like if you're trying to find a connection, or like if you're just trying to meet friends or like business partners or people who can help you, the Two of Cups wants us to find the people, like those symbiotic connections where it's like we scratch their back, they scratch ours. We can do something they can't, they can do something we can't, and it kind of works. So that would be a good thing. With the Ten of Pentacles, yes, very good reading. You have the Nine of Cups, which is fulfillment or wish fulfillment. Again, the more you pretend, the more you're just in the energy of fulfillment, the better with the Nine of Cups. We are in a very, kind of like manifestation time right now here, Virgo, and that's what I think we have to focus on. I think we have to get away from like work mindset in a lot of ways. I am still not exactly clear on what I even mean by that, if I'm being honest with you, Virgo.
Oh.
But Pluto and Aquarius, again, I think people don't realize how big of a shift it is to go from Capricorn to Aquarius with Pluto there. And I think Pluto and Aquarius, again, it doesn't mean that we won't be working. It means that we will be doing things that are like authentic to us, that bring us money. That's just one example. And I feel like if we could just practice a little bit right now, like I think the next couple of years people should practice this. Like it's not saying, oh, you have to quit your job and like go try to live on the beach in Fiji, being a surf instructor, right? It's like, can you just start a little bit? And I think getting that energy would be good. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction. Seven of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze? This could also be why I really didn't feel anything on that Queen of Cups, because, she's looking at that big cup. That cup is kind of her heart. It represents the thing that she really values. She really values her heart more than anything else. So it might be just a good time to take a little bit of a pause and to look at what you're giving the most energy to, and to ask yourself, like, does this actually fulfill my heart? Is it filling my cups? Or is it draining me? And if it's filling your cups, keep doing it. If it's draining you, time to change, right? Time to change whatever.
Why are you saying I'm juice world? I'm not juice world,
with the Ten of Cups, you have the
I only have
card.
grades.
Some of you definitely popped into my head. You could be taking a little bit of a risk in love. So for those of you that want love, popped into my head.
If you guys are
really
looking for
quickly
maths,
that some of you
science,
could be taking leads
civil
in
engineering,
love.
graphics and design,
For others,
help,
Cups,
I'm your
season
guy.
is always
Look
good
at my
for
website,
kind of like
www.chrizeecry.com.
good for taking
See you on the
leads
other side. I'm
towards
busy
anything
scanning
new,
someone's
any new
document,
opportunities
so
or any new
I'll
beginnings.
see you on the other
Again,
side.
a lot of people have had the Death card this month. A lot of people have had the Fool this month, and I would say it makes perfect sense to me. Next, we are going to look at the challenge for you this week. You have this card. It says tears, wet tears. It says denial, emotional weak, and pretense. You have this Mercury did it. Yes, you can actually blame Mercury right now because we just had a Mercury retrograde. It says miscommunication, cosmic excuses, and retrograde blame. Yes. One thing I will say, and I said this on a live I did with Devin Dewar, sorry. But anyway, I said that, really, this retrograde hit me like after. I had no issues during the retrograde. After the retrograde, I had a bunch of issues pop up, right? Which is weird. I don't remember any other retrograde like this. So, again, if you're having issues, I actually feel this is saying go ahead and blame the retrograde. You have the Three of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and the King of Swords. Three of Cups is celebration, happiness, partying. We're asking what challenge you should be kind of like overcoming at this time. And the Three Cups could be like finding your tribe or finding people who really support you, kind of finding your trusted advisors in life. That's kind of popping into my head for you here, Virgo. But I do feel this is a little bit of a journey because you have the Knight of Wands here. And it's like some people are right, some people are wrong. But I think you have to go on that journey of kind of like finding those few people who really support you. Again, Three Cups does not say you're only going to have 3 people in your life. But what it does say is, I always say this is my card of concentrated connections. It says we can have 1 million people in our life if we want to. But, maybe there are 3 that are really, really, really important. And the Three of Cups as a challenge would challenge you to figure out who those trusted advisors are in your life. Could be your parents, could be family members, could be anything. But if you don't have them, I would definitely challenge you to find them. These 3 people are having a harvest, and finding those people could increase your harvest in life. You have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, I mean, obvious for you, Virgo, I think that being more messy, I've been saying this to you all year, definitely time for Virgo to get messy, I think, and create, but I'm talking about creative messy, right? Creative messiness, or whatever you want to call it. Taking those risks, those creative risks that could lead to a mess in your life. I think being open to spontaneous opportunity. I'm a big fan of just saying yes this year, and trust me, I love to say no. So it is what it is. I don't like to leave my house. I am a Pisces. I like to live in my cave. That's it, right? But this year, I've been forcing myself to do things. I've gone on vacation twice this year. None of you know that, by the way. Or some of you do. But I've been on vacation, believe it or not, for the first time in 11 years, over 11 years, I've had this channel. And never taken a break, right? So, and technically, well, I did take a break, but I pre-recorded the videos. But anyway, what I would say here is, like, I think we have to say yes to more adventures. Because we don't even know what we're going to discover. That's the whole point of Uranus and Gemini, is that we have to like say yes to experiences. It's not about the outcome of the experience, and it is at the same time. And you might be saying, how can two things be true at once? Well, Gemini is two sides. Something can be true and not true at the same time. Something can not be about the experience, and it's like one side of it, it's more important what you gain from the experience, and then the other side can say, no, the outcome is important, right? So a little bit of a mind effort, but what I would say here is this wants you to go have fun. You have the King of Swords. Yeah, King of Swords has strangely been coming up quite a bit recently. I kind of feel, again, I'm kind of split on the King of Swords as well, because, well, number one, butterflies here, Virgo. If you know, you know. And the other thing I would say is that, on one hand, I think we need to be careful of judging things based off of history. King of Swords is my history card. Sometimes I think the King of Swords can come up when we are about to get an opportunity that is very similar to a past opportunity. Now, I think that if we had different energy, that the King of Swords should trust history. Like if he's getting an opportunity that reminds him of something that didn't work, maybe he should avoid it. If he gets an opportunity that did work, then he should obviously take advantage of it. But we are in such a different time that I kind of think we have to be careful of judging things like too much from the past, because it might seem similar but be completely different because Uranus and Gemini. So again, I think we have to give things chances, even if history is telling us like, oh, that didn't work. Like I feel it's perfectly fine to be a little bit more cautious and to take your time, right? I've said to many people that I do not think it's a good time for big investments. We have Mars in Cancer. Mars hates Cancer. And so, Mars moves into Cancer on the 11th, the day before the eclipse, right? Long story short, I think small little investments, small little risks that aren't going to wipe you out and financially, energy wise, love wise, whatever, small little steps, testing things, seeing how it goes, good. Going, kind of putting every single cent you have into something bad, right? And we have to be careful of that. So I think this week, and I would say the rest of the month, probably really until the end of September, that it's saying you can take more risks, but just kind of go slow. With the Three of Cups, you have the Hierophant. Yes, I think you are absolutely looking for new belief systems because we had the nodes in Pisces and Virgo, obviously. We also had Neptune and Pisces for a long time. Now, I think people don't realize what a big deal Neptune and Pisces is, because Neptune and Pisces wants us to look at our traditional beliefs, the things that we've always believed about life just because. And Neptune and Pisces is like, why? why do you believe this? Does it actually serve you? Does this belief help your life? Does it move you forward? Does it lead to more abundance or not? I don't know. I can't answer those questions for you. But what I would say is that now that Neptune has been in Aries for, pretty much all year, I think it's time for us, especially Pisces and Virgo, but obviously you're a Virgo, it's time to like look at beliefs, the things that you believe about everything. And you have to say, is it helping or hurting? And if it's helping, then, the challenge here is to face those belief systems and to possibly upgrade your beliefs. With the Knight of Wands, you have the King of Wands. Yeah, I mean, good time for you to be bold, assertive, confident, take risks. Small risks, I would say, at this time, Virgo, for you, and to see how they go. With the King of Swords, you have the Five of Swords. Yes, another card of taking a risk. Now, here's the thing about this card, is that, we look at it as a bad card because he has won at all cost. So, Five of Swords is my card that encourages us to take risk, but, he maybe these are his friends, and maybe he was training, with those people, but he wanted to win so much that he hurt them, and now they're walking away, right? So that's, why this card represents winning at all cost. He wanted to win so bad that maybe he hurt people in his life. So I think we have to take more calculated risk during Mars and Cancer, and we should like think things through and maybe go a little bit slower with the energy. Mars and Cancer already is pretty slow, so we probably will be slow, but
Hey,
that's what I'll say there.
How are you? Is that just world? No.
Next, we are going to look at your biggest advantage to take advantage of during the eclipse, which happens on the 12th. Remember, eclipses last for like 6 months. People have been asking me, and is it just the 12th? No, it's like until next year is how long I would work with this energy. You have this moon called card. It says meant to be. You have this blood moon. It says courage on it. So yeah, I think all earth signs, I haven't done all the earth signs. You're the first one I'm doing. But I think all earth signs are probably going to have something about courage right now. Even all year, Taurus has been getting stuff about building courage or, working on being more brave. I think it would be a good thing for all earth signs to work on. You also have this meant to be card and the Two of Cups. Like I said, this is a very good love eclipse. So, for those of you that want a connection, this definitely could be a very solid connection that's coming in for you here, Virgo. Two of Cups is usually different than your usual type, so could be a person that's different in some way. Usually, Two of Cups starts with communication as well, but could be a new person. I really feel, again, yeah, I think there's love that could become, I think love is always available to us, Virgo, but I really feel this is talking about filling in the gaps, especially with people, finding people who can help you because they can do Pluto and Aquarius. We have to form reciprocal connections with Pluto and I don't know, it just seems to be a big theme for you this week. Virgo, by the way, make sure to leave a comment, really helps me out. You have the Empress, which is amazing. Definitely could be very attractive at this time. Jupiter and Leo is very close to you, so I think that a lot of you could be standing out more. Obviously, you're probably not a Leo if you're watching this reading, although you could be. But what I would say is, I think she wants you to stand out and get more attention and, all that other great stuff. And of course, in a little less or over a little bit over a year or so, Jupiter's going to enter into your sign. And so this would be a good energy to start working on now, like standing out, glowing, getting attention for your work, being brave, bold, assertive. You always get the Three of Pentacles with me, except in this reading because I'm trying to prove a point. But, really want you to stand out for your skills. And so doing those things is going to increase your abundance.
really
And again, I would
point.
say the whole point of astrology is that we can catch the energy early, and we want to. Too many people, I think, look at astrology as predictive. It's really just a map for your life, as I have been saying for years, that we can follow it early and we can get the energy early, and then we'll be ahead, right? So that's what I would do there. You have the Devil. Yes, excellent time to remove something toxic, definitely for you as well, because I will be doing separate readings for the Pisces eclipse at the end of the month, but that Pisces eclipse definitely wants you to remove something toxic or a bad habit or anything that steals your energy. And I would just think about it. I don't think you have to stress about it or anything here, Virgo, but it's like a theme that I would pay attention to, and I would make it simple. That's what I keep telling people. We are actually in a very simple time. I know it seems complicated, but we just have to do something with the energy to get it to work. So make it easy, right? Like, is there an easy bad habit? Or is there a person that's an energy vampire that you could just get rid of or avoid or put boundaries up with, right? And so we don't have to do anything crazy, but I think if we do it, we'll get the rewards.
What up, guys?
With the Two of Cups, you have the Knight of
How you guys
Pentacles.
doing on
Yes,
Friday?
this is like
It's
slow,
Friday in
steady
South
progress.
Africa right
If
now.
love has
My
been
name
slow
is Chris
for
and I'm
you,
a civil
Virgo,
engineer
I
mentor.
actually feel things are speeding up. We have the Six of
And I
Swords
have
here as
maths
well,
and science
coming up in the good
videos
stuff.
on my
So
channel.
things
You
could
guys
be
check
speeding
them
up a
out,
little bit in your
please.
love life. With the Empress, you have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, being more spontaneous, being that risk taker as well. Being the person who kind of takes those spontaneous risks. That could be the thing that helps you stand out as well, and gets you attention. So don't be afraid of taking those risks. Also, being more adventurous, of course, will increase your abundance. Will bring more experiences into your life. With the Devil, you have the Ten of Cups. Again, fortune after difficulty. You have it twice, which is amazing, Virgo, for sure. Could also be a Capricorn coming in for you. I personally know a lot of Virgos that are with Capricorn. I think it's a good match. So, if you're looking for love, definitely could be a Capricorn. Next, we are going to look at the good stuff. This week, you have this fulfillment card. It says peace, harmony, satisfaction, in alignment, acceptance, happiness, positive mindset, in your power. You have this good news. It says all forms of communication, text, emails, documents, phone calls, letters, notes, and voice messages. So definitely could be some good news coming in for you. I do find that eclipses sometimes can bring information in. Eclipses kind of clear space, but the difference this year is we had the first Aquarius eclipse in the Aquarius Leo eclipse cycle that we are now in. So this is the second eclipse in the cycle, and we're going to have more in the future Aquarius Leo. And again, the first Aquarius eclipse asks us to make space for something better. And if you did that, and even if you haven't done it yet, the Leo eclipse usually fills in that space. So I think a lot of you, if you have made space, you could be finally the message you could receive. It's like maybe it's not a message, but it's kind of like clarity on how to fill in the space that you made. And if you haven't, you still have time to make space for something better. And if you're asking like, where in my life do I make space for something better? Wherever you want something better. So if you have something in your life that sucks, Virgo, or that isn't perfect, or that isn't how you want it to be, that's the thing that I would clear space for. You have the Six of Swords, Ten of Swords, Queen of Wands. Six of Swords, of course, moving on to calmer shores, heading towards improvements. So love it. Definitely could be a lot of improvements coming in for you here, Virgo. And it could be heading towards calmer shores. I said that the month of July was kind of like the Six of Swords energy. That's what July felt like to me. Like we were moving on, moving forward, but not quite there yet, like where we're going. And I feel this month, starting this week, you could be getting a lot closer. You have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords in the good stuff is a blessing in disguise. He's making a symbol right here with his hand. Same symbol the Hierophant is making on his card that represents a blessing. So the Ten of Swords also says something is dead, done, over with, or you have cleared space for something better in your life. And that's probably where your blessings will come from this week. You have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands wants you to be bold, assertive, confident. She wants you to really go for the things that you want in life or the things that you want to create. So I think confidence would be good. As usual, I'm pretty sure in the eclipse readings I did, you had the King and Queen of Wands in your readings. And King and Queen of Wands is a very passionate connection. So if you're looking for love, could be a very passionate connection. I also think if you're in a relationship, it could be becoming more passionate. And on top of that, I think you in general, with the Empress, I think your abundance is going to come from being passionate, right? And maybe that's where you need to make space. If you're doing things in life that aren't giving you or making you feel passion, any projects or anything you're working on, doing things that you are more passionate about will lead to abundance. With the Six of Swords, you have the card of Clarity, Queen of Swords. It's almost like I'm psychic or something here, Virgo. I knew you were going to get a card like that. She has clarity for the first time. That is literally what popped into my head on that Six of Swords. And also the good news card. It's almost like the eclipse is like clearing the clouds. And now you're seeing things clearly. Kind of makes sense if it's happening in your 12th house. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Four of Pentacles. Yes, stuck, right? So if you're wondering, where do I make space? It would be, where are you playing it too safe? Or, where have things not changed? He's holding on to the past. He's holding on to the way things have always been. And he wants an upgrade. He wants something different, but he's afraid that if he lets go of what he has, that he'll have nothing. But the trick with the Four of Pentacles is he really doesn't have much in the first place, right? So I always think of the Four of Pentacles as like thinking that we have a lot to lose, but we really don't. So, that's the area of my life. Like if you have something like that in your life, that's what I would be looking to end or change. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Very fortunate week. Again, you probably have the best reading so far. I've only done about 4 readings so far, so, we'll see. But I do think this is a very positive reading. And, the Wheel of Fortune also wants you to take control of your destiny with the Queen of Wands. So this could be about, like, really becoming a force. You have this candle. It says you will be shown the way. Yes, Queen of Swords, Six of Swords. I definitely felt that with the whole eclipse thing and this good news card. I don't really know that it's news. It might just be vision. It might be you are finally clear on the steps that you can take. It's almost like you've been circling something. It's like, sometimes I think we feel very close to whatever it is we want in life. And it's like we're circling the idea. It's like on the tip of our tongue. That's kind of the feeling I get for you. And you could finally be spitting it out this week, which is great. You have this purse. It says, pay attention to your finances. Yeah, I think with Mars and, Mars, whatever it is we want in life. And it's like we're circling the idea. It's like on the tip of our tongue. That's kind of the feeling I get for you. And you could finally be spitting it out this week, which is great. You have this purse. It says, pay attention to your finances. Yeah, I think with Mars and, Mars and Cancer starting on the 11th, I think it's until September 24th. I can't remember off the top of my head, but somewhere around there. I think we should really kind of take it slow financially. Not a bad thing, by the way. I just think we shouldn't be buying things we don't need. You have this funnel. It says period of frustration, lessons to be learned. And so, yes, if you have been in a period of frustration or have been experiencing a lot of life lessons, this could be you getting to the end of the funnel. I always say that I personally like this card. I think life is a funnel. It's like we start out as babies, we learn things, we bounce off one side of the funnel, and what we're trying to do is get more specific, is to get to the bottom of the funnel. So to me, this card is just life. You have this woman card that says dealings or relationships with a woman. You have this box that says you will receive a gift. So it could be like a friend or a person that has a gift for you. I think it's clarity with that Queen of Swords. You know, the Queen of Swords could also just be like a very decisive person in your life, or a person who sees things clearly, that's offering you help. You have this egg. It says success assured with good plans and hard work. Yes, it is a very successful reading here, Virgo. But this looks amazing. Love it. I feel very excited about it if you can't tell. So thank you for being here. Make sure to like, leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your week. Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for the week of August 3rd. This week you have this Time Machine card and this Uncharted Sea card. So I feel like you've had this card with me before, the Time Machine card, because I do think that some Leos maybe wish that they could go back to the past, or change something from the past. You have that Uncharted Sea card, which kind of says it's time to step into the unknown, Leo. It's time to go do things you've never done before. I kind of think this was your theme for August in the first place, if I remember correctly. So, and here you go. You have the Six of Swords, which is basically the same thing, like moving on to calmer shores, stepping into the unknown, all those things that we've talked about. So, it kind of seems like it's time. In your first row for your current general energies, you have the Four of Cups, Two of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for the eclipse that's happening in your sign on August 12th. Pretty big deal for you. You have this full moon eclipse. This, of course, is a solar eclipse, but it says conclusions are within reach. You have this new moon in Taurus. It says prosperity lies ahead. So, yes, very prosperous time for you, Leo. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things I think that Leo will be focusing on is like improving their prosperity, or their wealth in the world. We've talked about it, I think, in the August readings as well. This is going to be unique to you, Leo, so just like I have done occasionally, this is based off of your astrology during the eclipse that is happening, so everybody's getting a unique spread. Your first row is going to be who you are becoming, because this is happening in your first house. Even if you're not a first house Leo, doesn't matter. It's going to affect you all pretty much the same. You have the King of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords. The King of Swords, of course, is knowledge and wisdom. Sometimes I feel the King of Swords energy can be like a little bit of a bossing up type of, because this is happening in your first house. Even if you're not a first house Leo, doesn't matter. It's going to affect you all pretty much the same. You have the King of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords. The King of Swords, of course, is knowledge and wisdom. Sometimes I feel the King of Swords energy can be like a little bit of a bossing up type of vibe, and here you go. You have the Emperor right here, which is bossing up. So wouldn't surprise me if a lot of you Leos out there were kind of bossing up more over the next, not even just, on the 12th. The eclipse can last for like 6 months or longer, especially this one. We are in the Aquarius Leo eclipse cycle. The nodes have just moved into your signs, Aquarius and Leo, and we have Jupiter in your sign. So again, I think the themes that we'll see here are going to last for quite a while for Leo. Like I said, King of Swords is knowledge and wisdom. I think you get the King of Swords with me all the time. And I think I've been saying to you for years, Leo, that like the way I see it is that I think it's time for Leo to become a teacher. And, again, I've said this to you before. It's not like you're standing up in front of a classroom teaching people, unless, obviously, unless you happen to be a teacher. But, I think this is more about teaching through living, with just your lived experience, whatever you're creating, whatever you're overcoming. It's like whether you realize it or not, people are going to have their eye on you, and you are going to be.
So it's saying I have to teach through my life experiences. So my life experiences, one of the darkest life experiences that for me to get this degree, I had to fail a lot of times. I had to fail countless times, like crazy, bro. I had to fail 4 times, 5 times, and get excluded twice before I can get this degree. So I think people who read my story, go to my website, www.chrizeecry.com. It's www.chrizeecry.com. You can get there and read my story, how I started at Wits, how I started at Mahobote Primary School. I went to Ramoabi and I went to Mankala High School. After I went to UP, got rejected, went to Wits, got accepted at Wits. Then I did my degree there. It was a journey worth living, but if I were to tell you that you are going to go through such lows and such highs, you wouldn't accept the deal. But that's how life is, and I'm here to share that story with you guys. And I'm closing my eyes because if I keep on explaining this and I keep on looking at the screen, I end up crying. So, for that fact, I'm not here to tell you the story, I'm here to tell you about the thing that this guy is saying about my reading of August. So, the Leo Virgo reading. So, right now we're listening to the Leo one. Before we're listening to the Virgo, and while I was busy trying to scan these documents for my boy, he paid me 2 days ago, so I'm busy doing that. I did the CV for him. Then right now I'm attaching and making the whole file. He will do that, but like he knows I'm an admin kind of guy, and today I'm free. The whole week I was working, so today I'm free, but I wasn't supposed to be free because I had a student coming in today. They just cancelled, I think, because they had some issues, but that's okay. I have another one at 11, and then now he's not texting or he's not calling, so I'm quite amused or shocked. Hold on, what's gonna happen? But it's okay. Anyway, my name is Chrizeecry Senyatsi. I'm a civil engineer STEM mentor, and I'm here to help you guys with my experiences. I did it firsthand so that you don't have to go through it again, but you just have to learn through my mistakes. Peace and love.
Be inspiring other people. We have the Ace of Wands, right? I think this is more about teaching through living, just your lived experience, whatever you're creating, whatever you're overcoming. It's like whether you realize it or not, people are going to have their eye on you and you are going to be inspiring other people. We have the Ace of Wands right here, which is inspiration. And I think this is one of the most important things that Leo could do is to, this is going to sound creepy, but it's like to almost act like there is a camera on you 24/7. It's like, how do you want to be seen? What type of person do you want to be seen as? I think thinking about that could be very helpful. You have the Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles, it's time for him to get to work. He's the only knight in the tarot that isn't making a move, and he has these empty fields behind him that he could easily plant seeds in, but he has to do it, right? He has to put in the work. So you have that card that says prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. Taurus is all about cultivation energy, right? He has to cultivate these fields. He has to get something to grow. So clearly, it's a time of growth for you here, Leo. I would say that it's more a time of predictable growth. I think every Leo, it doesn't matter if you're 1 or 100, right, Leo? I think every Leo, your whole entire life up until this point, doesn't matter how old you are. I think things like finances maybe have been unpredictable. I think what Leo has experienced through life is more like seasons, right? It's almost like there have been times maybe where money has been really good. I think there have been times where money has been really bad. And it's almost seasonal, right? Is kind of how what I always say to Leo. And like the good news for you is that I think that this time in history for Leo is like you figuring out how to create wealth that like sticks around, right? And that's not just money, but all forms of abundance, whatever type of abundance you want. And it's like you're learning how to like nurture it. You're learning how to grow it, wherever the abundance happens to be that you want. And it could be multiple types of abundance in your life, of course. And I feel like you're like getting to work on things that last longer. And that is, of course, a good thing. You have the Nine of Swords, so I do think it's time to make a decision. I don't feel too bad about the Nine of Swords. It is a very good reading, Leo, obviously, without even clarifying. The rest of your cards are very positive. I don't like the Nine of Swords because he's had a nightmare, he's woken up, he's stuck in a nightmare, but he could choose to get out of the nightmare. The whole point of the card is that he's in pain, but he's not in enough pain to do anything about it. And that is the problem with this card, is that he needs to get out of pain. He needs to do something to get out of his situation, but he's not. And so I think for a lot of you, this could be about choosing to end things that aren't going anywhere in your life and do something about it. I also think of this card as a card of living automatically, which is definitely not something we want to do with Pluto and Aquarius, especially you, right? Because Aquarius is your opposite sign, and the North Node is in Aquarius as well. So I really can't explain why I feel this way, but I think for you, I think this is true for the collective. More important for you in Aquarius, though, that anything that's automatic, anything where you're not thinking about it, right? Those are the things that I would be changing. And it's not necessarily that doing something automatically is a bad thing. It's like, obviously, we don't have to think about breathing or beating our heart. Obviously, a good thing, right? But if there's something that isn't changing, that you want to grow, and if you're just kind of going through the motions, it might be time to get a little bit more creative with whatever that is. Might be time to change it or mix it up, right? Because that's where the success will come from, Leo. We're going to clarify this now, Leo, and let's see what we get for you. With the King of Swords, you have the Two of Wands. Yes, it's like people need to see your skills, like I said, right? At the top of his castle. And so people are the fruits of his castle. But the universe is saying it's time to expand. We have Jupiter, right? So the universe, you need to go build a new castle out in the world. You need to expand your kingdom. And this has definitely come up for you in 2026 several times. We also have the Three of Wands, Three of Pentacles right here. You know, he is showing his work. He has done a really good job, and he's showing off what he has done. You know, I think I said this to you in your last reading, Leo, as well. Maybe it was your August reading. You know, it's almost like Leo needs to step onto a bigger stage. You know, it's like if all you ever do is plays at your local playhouse, it's like you're not going to be famous, right? But it's like if you start auditioning for like a freaking movie, then your stage is the freaking world, right? And that's what Leo needs to do. It's like you need to start playing in the big leagues or something. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Cups, which is amazing. Nine of Cups, of course, is fulfillment or wish fulfillment. I would definitely, a very powerful manifestation month, I would say. So anything you can do to match the energy or act as if you already have the things you want, I think the more you do that, the better with the Nine of Cups. Of course, I think that we're absolutely in a time where the better you take care of yourself, the better the world is going to take care of you. I think this is going to be more important next year, although I would start right now. I think it's a great time to practice taking care of yourself, loving yourself more, treating yourself as a person that could be part of it. But, you know, treating yourself with love is going to be important. The reason next year is because we have Chiron and Taurus more, you know, that's just going to attract better. And I always say King of Swords is the curse of knowledge, right? So I like the King of Swords, definitely not knows too much. And I also think I said this to you in like your August reading or one of the recent for Leo is that I don't think you're wrong, but I think in whatever the situation is right now, you're wrong. You know, it's like something reminds us of a bunch of past experiences that failed, right? But it's almost like your readings have been saying this time it's not going to fail. It's like, yeah, maybe you're right that based off your history, maybe something has never worked for you, but it's almost like you need to try something. And again, I feel it's very specific. I know this is not like the clearest of messages, but I think that over the next 6 months, I'm going to say that, right? Wheel of Fortune and the Justice cards. Wheel of Fortune and the Justice card. Yeah, very creative time. All three fires.
Jesus, this thermodate thing is killing me. It's too slow. Forget it. It's too slow. Forget it. I said.
Signs are going to have stuff about creativity because again, I think creative solutions are just the better solution for fire signs right now. Ace of Wands wants us to be doing something because we're inspired. You know, it wants us to come from the energy of inspiration and passion and excitement, and it wants us to follow that spark, right? So pretty much everything that you're working on over like the next 6 months or so, you know, as long as you're feeling that inspiration and you're excited to do things, then you're probably going to be growing something really good. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune can be a change in your fortunes, so I feel pretty good about this. I think I said this to you a few months ago, Leo. I do feel you have outgrown the luck thinking. It's not that you're not going to be lucky, but I think that for a long time, I call it lottery thinking, where we think that the only way we can be successful is if we get lucky.
Yes.
What I feel very good about this because I feel like you're starting to say like, no,
I
I'm
need to
in
work.
control of my reality. I'm in control of my destiny, and I am the one that makes things happen. So it's like you're giving yourself credit. Or you're saying like I can do it. I don't need luck to make
It's
something
always that
happen. Again, that does not mean
for a
that
very
you won't
long
be
time
lucky. I'm
without
just saying
anyone
that
surrounding you
it
with
feels to me
claps.
like you're
So you
taking
need to
control of the
remember that.
wheel, which is what that card wants us to do. You have the Justice card. Yeah, Justice is balance. A lot. So with justice energy. Also, a lot of good karma stuff coming up. We had the node shift signs, and yeah, and we also ended a Mercury retrograde recently. Obviously, we end the shadow on August 6th, so I think there's like a lot of positive karma that could be coming in for people with all these shifts going on and 2 eclipses this month as well. And this could just be positive karma. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Page of Cups. Yes, again, I think all 3 fire signs are going to have stuff about love. I think this eclipse in particular on the 12th is very good for love, really, especially if you're looking for love. The Page of Cups could be an admirer or just a new person coming in for you, making an offer. Looks like it'll be very passionate with the Ace of Wands. I would definitely take your time. I've said to a couple other people, we have Mars going into Cancer as well on the 11th, the day before the eclipse. Mars in Cancer is like not good. In my mind, it's not good for like jumping right into bed with a person, right? So I think we should like slow things down a little bit and we should take our time if we're meeting a new person for like the next 2 months. I'm pretty sure Mars leaves Cancer on September 24th or the 25th. Can't remember off the top of my head, Leo, but it's like the end of September. So again, that doesn't mean you can't jump into bed with a person between now and September, but I wouldn't do it day one, right? I would give it some time. With the Wheel of Fortune, you show up. Yes, you are happening on purpose. It's like you're taking control of the wheel. Like I said, there's really nothing to add here because it's like you're not leaving things up to luck. I think you're saying like, no, I can create the victories. I can create the change in my fortunes. And maybe you're starting to believe that finally. The Strength card is about controlling your inner voice. This lion represents her inner demons or her inner critic, but she's the one that's controlling its mouth. So I think you are taking control. I feel very, very, very good about this. I would argue this is the best part of your reading right here, the Wheel of Fortune and the Strength card. With the Justice card, you have the Death card. Yeah, definitely a lot of transformations. Death always comes up during eclipses, whatever. I think we're just in a time of change and transformation. Eclipses always cause transformation and changes, of course. I would be more excited about it. Sometimes I think with the Death card, we have this king here, and the king being dead on the Death card represents the death of establishment. It says that things that we think last forever, sometimes they don't, right? Sometimes they die or go through a transformation, and that's okay. But the child is very excited about the change. And so I think being more childlike, of course, is important. Next, we are going to look at your purpose. I think having an eclipse in your first house definitely has a lot to do with your purpose in the world. You have this dream catcher card. It says, pay attention to the signs, messages, and guidance that come to you at night. You have this ultimate fulfillment. It says, you're now entering into a time of peace, happiness, and emotional fulfillment. Love it, Leo. Like I said, I definitely feel it's a good time for you, especially with Jupiter in your sign, especially after the 6th, right? It kind of sucks that Jupiter went into Leo during the Mercury retrograde, basically. It's like we didn't really get to feel it. now this week, today is the 2nd. This will be published on the 3rd, right? So now this week, I think we're really going to start feeling that vibe. And, I think it's going to be a good thing. I would definitely be paying attention to your intuition. This month, I think, is very intuitive. Like I said, we're going to have a Pisces eclipse at the end of the month as well. I will be doing separate readings on that eclipse as well, and we'll see what comes up for you. But, your intuition could be on fire. You have the Three of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, and Four of Wands. Three of Pentacles wants you to work with other people. I do think, of course, with Pluto and Aquarius, it's an amazing time for teamwork. It's an amazing time for you, Leo, as well. I don't even think Leo has to work with other people. I think there's a lot of benefits in doing it, so I would definitely encourage you to do it. But at the same time, anything that benefits the collective is going to benefit you, right? So That could be you creating something. That could be you being a teacher. Like I said, with the King of Swords, just living your life, living your best life, creating it, doing the hard thing, showing people that if you can do it, they can do it, right? That type of energy doesn't even mean you have to work with anyone, but do display. Like I said, taking center stage. Going and doing that. I'm at a loss for words now, Leo. I started ranting. Whenever that happens, I always lose my train of thought, right? But conditioning, right, and getting the role. That's what it's all about for you at this time. Leo, by the way, make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out. You have the Seven of Cups, so we're asking about your purpose. You might be realizing you have multiple purposes, which I think we all do. I don't really think we have a purpose like we think. I think people think like, oh, I'm supposed to become a lawyer or a doctor or whatever. It's like, that's not really our purpose. So I think our purpose is to create our own reality. And I feel the Seven of Cups is you realizing that you have a lot of options and like how you can make that happen. You also have that dream catcher card again. It says, pay attention to signs, messages, and guidance that come to you at night. The Seven of Cups, of course, he is dreaming. He's imagining these Seven Cups. So I feel this wants you to kind of follow the messages you're receiving at night. Sometimes I think that this card is also like, I always get my best messages like right when I'm falling asleep, right when I wake up in the morning, in the shower, when I'm driving down the road. It's kind of like turned on, when you're not thinking, when you're kind of zoning at your best messages. You have the Four Wands. Four Wands, of course, could be marriage. Again, love looks really good for you this month, I think. So if you're looking for love, yeah, obviously, like I said, Mars and Cancer. I wouldn't marry a person tomorrow, Leo, unless you've been engaged for a while, right? But very good. So could be a strong commitment. The other thing that I would be focusing on for the rest of your life, Leo, is the word freedom. Right? We've talked about this before because we had Uranus and Taurus for a long time. I think for you fixed signs, Uranus and Taurus wants you to create a life of freedom, but this is like through maintenance, right? Knight of Pentacles. Like I was saying, it's about being able to grow something that you can maintain that will grow forever. He needs to grow whatever he's growing in that field behind him, but he has to nurture it. He has to like get all that other good stuff, right? Probably should be an organic garden, right? Probably shouldn't be putting poison down on whatever he's growing as well. So we have to like nurture something for the long haul. And again, like I said, I think the seasons thing, I know that doesn't make sense because obviously if you're growing something, there's seasons. But I think you're growing something in like Costa Rica, right? Costa Rica's growing season is all year long, basically, right? So I think that you're creating a garden in your life. You're nurturing something somewhere where it can kind of grow all year round. And, it's something that you're going to take care of, right? Whatever you're building. And I feel this is very good. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Lovers. Love it. Definitely could be love. I like the Three of Pentacles with the Lovers because Three of Pentacles is usually two people who kind of have the same vision. There's one vision on the card, these Three Pentacles here. And so it doesn't say you're attracting a person. You want to work towards the same thing. So very good. With the Seven, what have you force? It can be, I should say. So I think a lot of you have outgrown that lights or energy vampires. Of course, I would encourage that. With the Four of Wands, you have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords says something is dead, done, over with, but he is making a symbol that represents a blessing. So Ten of Swords can be a blessing in disguise, and there could be some sort of blessing in disguise coming in here for you here, Leo. So I feel pretty good about that. Next, we are going to look at your hidden gift. Again, eclipses, especially in our sign, can reveal something to us. You have this trine sextile, it says symbiosis. You have this Neptune card that says vision, which, yes, I think your vision is important in this reading, like what you are seeing for yourself and what you want your life to look like. That's what you could be, you could be revealing that to yourself. The symbiosis thing makes a lot of sense to me as well here, Leo. Symbiosis is like two things working together, or, kind of getting things working together in your life. And so a lot of you could be realizing like how your skills can be applied in life. And you could be realizing that your skills that you have in life could be applied to a lot more. You have the Judgment card, the Emperor, and the Seven of Swords. Again, Judgment, all about purpose. Again, I could have predicted that you would have had the Judgment card in this reading just because you're having an eclipse in your first house. I think that sometimes plus the South Node, plus Jupiter, all that is going to be making you think about your place in the world and the effect that you have on the world and what you can do in the world. So I think this is just like thoughts that are popping into your head over probably for years to come. And the judgment card, of course, wants you to leave the old life behind and step into the new life. You have the Emperor, so bossing up, like I said, you have that card. It says boss authority. It says superior on it as well. So a lot of you, a good time for you to become an authority. Like if you want to become someone who is recognized or who has for like a skill, or if you want to become a boss, now time. You have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords can be line cheating, stealing, of course. I would be careful of that with the Devil and the Seven of Swords, and also Mars and Cancer, especially if you're meeting a person. I always say a reading can say that love is coming in, but, the reading is also saying pay attention. You might be meeting more than one person over the next 6 months. Maybe one of them is right, but maybe the rest are liars, right? So I would pay attention. But on top of that, Seven of Swords, he has learned to move different, right? He's stealing these swords from this army in the background. Probably the most popular card right now is the Seven of Swords in my readings. I blame Uranus and Gemini because I think Uranus and Gemini is basically the Seven of Swords. Uranus and Gemini wants us to go against the grain, wants us to find better solutions, wants us to think outside the box, wants us to be a rebel, wants us to stick out like a sore thumb, right? So I think all those things would be great. With the Judgment card, yes, you have the Seven of Cups here. Yeah, you're like expanding your vision. Like I said, I think Leo is coming from I don't want to say a small life. That's not really what I feel, but limited, with seasons. That's what you've been experiencing. I think this is the expanded view that you are being pushed towards, like a more predictable life where things aren't seasons. Things aren't just so up and down, right? With the Emperor, you have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands, very good. Charging towards success, charging towards a victory. Eight of Wands can be a quick success or a quick victory. I'm also getting good news here for you, Leo. So if you've been waiting for news, could be news. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups wants you to follow your heart. I think you get the Queen of Cups with me a lot. And, of course, I think that Uranus and Taurus kind of taught everyone to follow their heart more and to create a life that is more fulfilled or more heart-based. And because you're a fixed sign, you probably felt that very strongly. You have this archway. It says new opportunities, possibilities, and paths opening up. Love it, Leo. Definitely could be some new possibilities and paths opening up. You have this mountain road. It says you're on the road to success. Very good reading. Probably one of the better readings I've done. The readings have been pretty positive. Libra had a very good reading. So if you have Libra on your chart, then more good things could be happening for you. You might want to go watch that if you do have Libra in your chart. But you have a very positive reading as well. You have this wishbone. It says a wish granted. Love it. Definitely very good. And you have the Nine of Cups here. So Nine of Cups wants you to make a wish. To make a wish with the Nine of Cups, we just have to we have to act as if we already have it. So I think that might be the fastest way for you to get a wish. You have this December card and this V card. It says victory in some endeavor. Love it. So between now and December, the end of the year, there could be some sort of victory that you're working towards. Especially, again, I'm a big fan of longer term things for Leo. Working on projects or businesses or relationships or ideas that maybe require a little bit of upfront effort. That's where you could have a lot of victories. You have this barrel that says you feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. Yeah, whatever it is, I would fill in the gap. I think you have the opportunity to fill in gaps that are missing. But this looks amazing, Leo. For sure. Love it. So thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your month. Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for the eclipse that we're having in Leo on the 12th of August. You have this new moon in Gemini. It says communication is key. You have this new moon in Aquarius. It says bring love into the situation. Yeah, communication definitely important for you at this time, Virgo. So I would speak up. I think it's more important that Virgo speaks up for themselves and kind of shares their ideas and speaks from their heart as well would be a good one. So all that. Every single sign is going to have a different spread based off of this eclipse and how it's going to be working for you. Your first row is going to represent what is ending for you at this time. Pretty much everyone probably will be ending something. I mean, usually we do during eclipses. This eclipse is pretty positive because we also have Jupiter there with Leo. The nodes have also shifted signs into Aquarius and Leo. So, there's like a lot of good things to look forward to with these eclipses happening this month. I will, of course, also be doing readings for the Pisces eclipse that's coming up at the end of the month in the near future. So in your first row, you have the High Priestess, the Lovers, and the King of Swords. The High Priestess is your intuition. Wouldn't really represent something ending necessarily, even though that's the question that we are asking here in this first row. But, what it could mean is that you need to bring an end to a mystery. She has a mystery behind her. We have this tapestry. And I always say that the High Priestess kind of represents needing to peek behind the curtain sometimes. It's about kind of understanding why something is working or not working in your life and how to get it to work, right? It's like needing to like pop the hood on your car. Like if your car had a problem and you didn't know what it was, the peeking behind the curtain would be opening it up. So that's kind of what's popping into my head for you, Virgo. Again, this does not mean that you have to that it's necessarily something that's not working. Again, she goes both ways. It could be a problem.
What takes
For you, and maybe you can make it work better, right? Just like you could maybe go Fast and the Furious on it. Maybe you need to install right there. So our brain is your intuition. Wouldn't really represent something ending necessarily, even though that's the question that we are asking here in this first row. But what it could mean is that you need to bring an end to a mystery. She has a mystery behind her. We have this tapestry. And I always say that the High Priestess kind of represents needing to peek behind the curtain sometimes. It's about kind of understanding why something is working or not working in your life and how to get it to work, right? It's like needing to like pop the hood on your car. Like if your car had a problem and you didn't know what it was, the peeking behind the curtain would be opening it up. So that's kind of what's popping into my head for you, Virgo. Again, this does not mean that you have to that it's necessarily something that's not working. Again, she goes both ways. It could be a problem that you need to get to the bottom of the mystery on, but it could also say like maybe something's working really well for you and maybe you can make it work better, right? Just like you could maybe go Fast and the Furious on it. Maybe you need to install knobs in your car, right? Make it go a little bit faster. Maybe you need to wheels or something like that, right? But she has to explore the mystery to figure that out. The other thing that's popping into my head is there is a theory that the
baby. Ke arabile le ka phone wa bona ela e wa bona e mo kae ke irela ke fe ke sendela mo kaperoto dilo tsa ke di scanne ke dirile ne ke nyako yes girl go jile ba rena o ile greenhouse wena ke fetile go ke tla mmere ne ke re go lata oh dintsha wa yena sa bolele bjano wa yena sa bolele motho wa re mo phone bjano mo keng wa mo ka re go betse ke tlo mmetha kgosi ira ngwanaka wa bona o irileng kgante bona o lopile so ngwana ka ba o ira le bontsha mabadi sharp he ke tlo mmetha kgosi sharp baby that was my wife and my kid. My kid got beat up. Bruh, by her cousin. You know how kids are. Yeah, I think I need to take this to that guy. I've sent him the documents, everything is fine. One thing I need to do today, I think it's been how many months? April. May, June, July, August. It's been 1 year, 4 months since my company started. This is a STEM solo startup. So what happened is that I started a company, I lost money, I wanted to get customers, I got customers, but I was still in the same business that I was in, but I wanted to create another business on top of that and then go extremely at it. So only after a year I started getting like clients consistently. I was getting clients but not consistent enough. Even now I have churn and then low show rate. Like the people that say they will come end up not coming. The people that actually I think maybe I should get them to pay first, right? Make sure that they pay before they come. Upfront payment is already always okay to guarantee my shit. That's the first lesson, number one. Second, number two is make sure I take things slowly before I jump into any commitment with anyone. But I would like to make them commit first. And then also, it's not my responsibility to get them, but it is actually. It's my responsibility to break their beliefs. It's my responsibility to get them to work. It's my responsibility to get them interested and keep on staying, because I came from nowhere and I wanted to get those clients. So I need to keep on enticing them. So yeah, that's about it. I think I did like two shots for this. I think yeah, I'll come and decide on another thing. I really need to shape this in a nice way. I might need ChatGPT's help for this. Let them know that their thing is done. Hey, Mukhalabe. Hello. Hey, Mukhalabe, uko kae? O sa robetse? Oh, sharp. We no tsene. Ha ina flop ke dirile daute se go sentetse tsona. Pampiri tsa ba nong kire bang. Okay. Oh, sharp. Ne ona stress mara go sentetse tsona go WhatsApp o tla mpotsa sharp. Hola. Done. So we're done with that, right? What's next? My job was to complete some videos and post them to this channel, chemistry videos, and then the other job is for me to promote my shit. And actually I need to slow down on that because I need to create an offer that will be suitable for these people. Yeah. But firstly I need to research. After research, code. After coding, then I'll print out the charts, the flyers, I guess.